Hi, I'm Amy. I'm originally from Brisbane in Australia. I moved to Canada in 2011 after doing a snowboarding trip to Big White in Kelowna. Originally moved to BC but moved out to PEI for nursing. So I was living in BC. I got two two-year working visas, and it came to a point where I realised that I wanted to go back to school. I tried to get into nursing on Vancouver Island, but I wasn't allowed to because I was international. So I enrolled in a biology degree. I did that for 2 years. Realised that I came to a point in my life where I knew that I had to move. So I ended up going, all right, God, where are we going to go? So I pulled up a map of Canada and I was just having a look at where would be somewhere that would be ideal. And because I was living on Vancouver Island, I wanted something similar, and PEI came up as an option. I didn't know anything about it, and so I said, well, if this is from you, I need confirmation 3 times, just a mention of PEI or something to do with it. And so the next day I had started my day off in a coffee shop, and there had been a fella that I'd met there, and he had asked to come and sit at my table. And when he sat down, he started telling me about himself and that he was originally from PEI. And I was like, what? Like, I'd never heard of PEI before. And so I was like, that's so cool. So that was my number one. And at the time, I was working at a restaurant in Nanaimo, which is a little city on the island. And I'd sat at my shift, and the first table I got was this older couple, and I took them to their table, and they were really lovely, and we were chatting for the night, and I just had a feeling, and I said to them at the end of the night, by any chance, you from PEI? And like the fella's jaw like dropped, and he was like, how did you know? And I said, oh, I just had a feeling. And so I was like, there's 2. And then towards the end of the night, I was carrying a tray of beverages, and a customer stopped me, and she said, oh, I just wanted to tell you that I've been watching you tonight, and you remind me of Anne of Green Gables. And I was like, oh goodness, I go into PEI. And so it was just crazy to get confirmation so quickly. So I packed up shop, and then I drove over in May 2017 across Canada and moved to PEI. I was actually scrolling on Instagram, just Charlottetown, because I like to look for places to take the dogs that I look after, and Centrepoint Church had come up, and so I clicked on it, and I was like, oh wow, there's a church in Charlottetown. Went onto the website, just having a look, and I was like, oh, I want to check it out. At the time I was working, it was like they were doing night services, and I worked at night, so I wasn't able to come. But then once school started, I actually saw that they did like a ladies' Bible study group, and I was like, well, I want in on that. And so I ended up just rocking up one night. I was like, hi, and the ladies were just awesome, and we had like such great chats, and we had snacks and tea, and it was just amazing to just like get invited into that right away, and just to feel comfortable. And then I went to church on a Sunday, and an awesome message was preached, and I just was like, wow, this is like real. Through my workplaces, through my school, like through my clinical experiences, that he's bringing into my life a lot of different age groups and people coming from different backgrounds and different stories. And so for me, it's about looking at that and being like, wow, God, like when Jesus was here, he was relevant to everyone that he met. And so I am really pressing into him and being like, God, I want to be like that. I want whoever I come in contact with to be at peace in my company, to be comfortable, to ask me questions, or to listen to, what I have to say about Jesus. And so that comes in, every day, that obedience of being like, all right, God, what are we going to do today? And the adventure of, no day's the same, and the people that he brings into my life, and just being aware of, okay, this is what I'm here for, and just being obedient in sharing the goodness of Jesus that I've experienced myself.